Beach-Nut, the bourbon mascot, flavor of the gum mascot, and that peppermint flavor hangs on, hangs on, hangs on to what it's got.
When Beech-Nut makes gum, the flavor hangs on.
Yeah, that Russian gushy flavor hangs on, hangs on, hangs on to what it's got.
Hang on to flavor.
By Beech-Nut, by gum.
Reach out, take me out to the ball game, take me out to the car. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame.
Hello, everybody out there in Reach Out Land, and welcome, welcome, welcome to Reach Out. A very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be, and welcome to our show. We're getting our groove back on because we've been away and we've been playing around with different dates and all that thing. I think we're finally back in the place we need to be, and I think we need to introduce to you my two compadres, my buddies, Mr. Steve Vaccaro, Mr. Ray Negron. Can you guys come on the show? Where are you guys?
Hey, Robbie, welcome back. Welcome. Robbie, listen to me. Listen to me very carefully. Number one, I'm very upset with you.
Why?
Because we haven't done a show in about 3 weeks to a month because you've been running around all over America with some little Italian guy by the name of
who just turned 89.
Who just turned 89 years old. And if it wasn't that I love him so much, okay, Mr. Frankie Valli, that is. If
you mean Francesco Castelluccio?
Mr. Castelluccio, in essence, we would have fired you already, just so you know. Okay, your contract is up at the end of the month, and, it is what it is.
We're going to have to negotiate a new contract if my contract's up, brother.
I don't care about the Dodgers shirt. That's fine. It's baseball. MLB. The people we have on the show today, MLB.
That's right. It was really funny. MLB, I gotta say, it was really funny to listen to that commercial.
The Yankee, yep.
You had that commercial of Frankie and the guys doing that thing back in 1966 or 67, the Beech-Nut commercial.
Yes.
And it was so funny to hear his talking voice because it was so high and it was so youthful sounding. I'm used to an older, more mature Francesco Castelluccio. It's good to see you guys. We've been gone too long.
And thank you for that intro. Beautifully done. I know Carmine's going to do our outro, but one little thing, Robbie, you put us in Dodger Stadium.
Hey,
what's up
isn't that where everybody wants to be in Dodger Stadium?
This is why when you get people from the entertainment and sports world like you and I, Robbie, when you bring in some psychologists or psychiatrists, you know what the hell they're talking about. Okay, that's number one. And number two, I'm so excited to have Omar Minaya on this show today.
Isn't that cool?
And the reason why, Robbie, we grew up together.
Is that right?
We've been together as long as you and Frankie have been together.
Wow.
That's a long time.
By the way, kudos to you. While you were talking about me running around, look who's talking. Steve, you saw this. You saw pictures and videos of this. Our buddy Ray Negron gets called to speak at the United Nations. I mean, that's pretty heavy. So congratulations to you, brother.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Look at that picture.
Thank you.
Another proud moment.
I'm just happy that I didn't start World War III. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you could have said the wrong thing. That's for sure.
Can you imagine that on the papers the next day?
Oh, man.
But this is going to reach out every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock on the West Coast there. And we're so very thankful, Robbie, we're back in town.
Robbie, and the other thing is, I'm extremely excited. I'm excited today, Mac.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we have Omar's little boy on the show who made his debut with the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah,
and I can't wait because I didn't see it. But I want to be able to see that three-point jumper because I'm famous for my three-point jumper. Okay?
Yeah, I've seen that one. You made it one time, and then you show that video over and over and over.
Oh, thanks, Robbie.
No, it's not the one time. He takes 153 shots, and he gets that one video, and then that's what we see.
For your information,
Yeah.
we had a semi-pro Yankee basketball team of which Omar Minaya played on, and he saw me take my famous jump shot. We'll see what he has to say when he comes on.
Well, let's go. We got a big show here. Yankees, Dodgers, and Mets. How the Dodgers doing out there?
Dodgers are in first place. They're in top of the National League total, and the only team that has a better record in all of MLB right now are the Rays. And you know, I went to the game the other day. Here, I'll show you. And saw the Dodgers, which was so much fun.
You got a board?
And here I've got. There I am at the game. If you can see.
Oh, there you are. Look at that.
Not a bad seat either, huh?
Not a bad seat.
All right.
Not bad.
And then here I got this.
We're paying this guy too much money.
Wow.
We're paying this guy too much money.
Wow.
But then the cool thing was,
Look at
I
that.
not only went to the game, but my friend and a singer that I've worked with many, many, many times sang the national anthem, Mandy Pinto.
Wow.
So that was all cool.
Well, our Yankees battled the Rays pretty tight. You know, we're moving on up real soon.
Hey, we're
And
playing the
Mets are in
Rays.
same spot.
We're playing the Rays in a couple weeks. But you and I, one thing that we all both have in common, we are praying, we are hoping, we are wishing, hoping, and praying, as the song goes, for the Dodgers and the Yankees to meet in the World Series once again.
There we go.
Well, our first guest, the reason we got this guy, because we needed one of the great brains in baseball.
That's right. We're going to bring him on real soon.
So you and I have no business talking about where the Yankees are going.
Well, I'm just
You're acting like you're a damn general manager.
We'll ask
Come on,
Omar
boys.
then.
Come on,
Tell us
boys.
what's moving on up. But you know what? Yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yes.
And Robbie, your mom was special to you, right?
My mom was so special to me in so many ways. One of the big ways for me is the fact that she is the one who fostered my passion for music. She was my very first piano teacher, and she sacrificed and struggled just to make music available to me. And without her, I would not be in this business. So I'm so grateful to her.
That's a beautiful picture. And Ray, your mom was very special to you.
Right. Listen, I'm breathing because of my mother, the greatest. You know, everybody should feel like, hey, that's your first love in life, okay? And that will be my greatest love in life. So that's all I got to say.
That's a beautiful picture. And just like you guys, my mom was very special to me. She passed at an early age, but she's in with me every single day of my life, my brother and I, Richie. And without her, you know, I wouldn't be sitting here today either. So tribute to our moms and all the moms out there. This is a special occasion, and we always have to honor those.
Amen, brothers.
Amen. But we're going to get started with our show here, and we're going to bring on, we have a couple of videos first. Nick Totoro, you interviewed him recently.
Well, listen, Omar, we're going to lose Omar.
All right,
He's
all
got
right.
to go. He's working.
All right, let's bring Omar Minaya here. He's with the Yankees now, moving on up. Omar, are you there with the Expos, the Mets, and a couple times the Mets and the Rangers, a scout, and great work you've done over your career, sir.
I'm here, guys. How you doing? It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. Love the chemistry that's going on here. It feels like a New York chemistry.
Oh, is that what they call it?
I was going to say, is that what you call it?
I like the whole. I know this is like my neighborhood. This is the kind of guys I grew up with, and I feel like I'm in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx. It's great vibes, and I can see why this show is a success. I can tell you that,
brother.
Thank you so much. Now, you know this guy for many, many years. Talk about those first days when you knew Ray Negron.
Well, Ray, we go way back, like you said, Ray. We played ball together as kids.
Wow.
Sandlot, you guys know New York Sandlot baseball, playing the schoolyards. But more important, it was just became a friendship. And he was a year ahead of me. He ended up playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And, he was a shortstop. He was very athletic. And he was flashy too. That's the way you can tell how he is. A very flashy, athletic guy. But then, over the years, we kind of developed a friendship. And it was more, in a lot of ways, I'm proud to say that he was, in some sense, he was almost somewhat of a mentor. Here were two guys from Queens that he was a little bit ahead of me. He was always been in a very good position. He was the Yankees. The history is there for the Bat Boy and his closeness with Mr. Steinbrenner and all that. And he was another guy, myself. I kind of similar. We kind of were, we were good players in the Sandlots, but we were A-ball players when it's all said and done. But we made our path through different ways. I ended up going to Europe, playing in Europe, and then coming back and being a scout. But we stayed friends over the years. And, Ray, I always feel like he has some challenges to overcome over the years because, let's be honest, we know that he was not only a good baseball man, but he's always been very artistic, very, very artistic, and we just stay close. And Ray, one thing about Ray is very loyal. Somebody that I know, and we used to call him, some people would call him Father Flanagan, I believe it was, or something like that, because he's always had a love and care to take care of people. And that's where we always connected. And for me, it's a great honor to be working with the Yankees. We did a commercial together, a Canon commercial together with me in the Yankee uniform. I ended up going to be, a large part of my career with the New York Mets in Queens. I'm a Queens guy. I love saying I'm a Queens guy. But Ray has been, in a lot of sense, somewhat of a mentor because he was in front of me. He went before me. Before I got my opportunity, Ray had his opportunity. And he showcased me. He always, mentored me. But not only it's a friend, it was a brotherhood. Him, Dave Allen, and myself, we have so many great memories together.
Well, Omar, let me ask you a question, by the way. First of all, it's so nice to meet you. It's a pleasure. And even though I'm wearing this uniform here,
I'm okay with that.
There you go.
Now, are you a Dodger guy because are you been in LA or is that coming from Brooklyn? Where's that coming from?
Let's put it this way. I grew up in a small town in southern Illinois, but I was on the Little League Dodgers, and I grew up a passionate Dodger fan, and I've been living in Los Angeles now for almost 50 years, and I've been a rabid Dodger fan my whole life since I'm a little boy.
Okay. All right. Kind of, because a lot of, guys like yourself in music, a lot of them started in Brooklyn and then that are, and they love those Dodgers that still love the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I love the Brooklyn Dodgers too. But let me ask you a question for our audience out there. Tell us what you do with the Yankees, because I know that you're in the offices, in the front office there for the New York Yankees, which is one of the great, great, great sporting organizations in the world. So tell our audience exactly what you do.
Yeah, well, my title is senior advisor to baseball operation. And if you know a baseball organization, baseball operation department starts off with the general manager, or you may have a president, so in our case, it would be Randy Levine. You have an owner, of course, which is Hal Steinbrenner, the Steinbrenner family. But underneath those, you have what is called general manager. My role is really more to be kind of that senior guy. When I've been in the game for close to 40 years already, as far as an executive. And that being said, my role is to be my background is more in scouting and player development. So my role is to be able to assist and help, whether it's the procurement department, the acquiring the talent. I'm a big believer. I was fortunate to be raised by very good baseball people over the years, Sandy Johnson and others. So I love the scouting component, help the scouting department, the player development department. And then you have the international department. And then you have the manager, the major league team, and having a great relationship with Booney. So my work and my role has to do a lot with the major league team and the scouting and development. But I'm also, love to be involved in the community. So I do other things. And I think the Yankee brand is probably the most most powerful, most recognizable brand in throughout the world. I mean, anywhere you go. So I plan on not only making the major league team, help the major league team, also be able to get young players, but do this always under the supervision and the advice with Brian Cashman, who's the general manager, who's probably should be a Hall of Fame general manager. He's been
Amen,
there for
brother.
years.
And by the way, I would say that the scouting department of any baseball organization, and I've seen it with the Dodgers because they're doing a great job over in that department, is the lifeblood of any baseball operation. Because no matter if you're scouting other major league players or if you're scouting the lowest high school kids or even younger, that's what it takes to field a great team.
It's amazing you asked that question because I just had a conversation today with the head guy from your scouting department by the name of Josh Byrne, who I had the opportunity to work with in the Padres. And when people think of the Dodgers, and yes, Andrew Freeman is doing a great job.
Yeah.
But all those minor leaguers and all those guys, Josh Byrne is the leading guy in there. And we were just talking about that. It's about not only, do you have to be good in free agency, but for you to sustain it, you got to be able to have good scouting people, and you guys have great scouting people with Josh Byrne, and we hope to continue to do the same thing here with the Yankees.
Amen, brother.
Now, Omar, you are the first Hispanic general manager in the history of Major League Baseball.
Wow.
Okay, and I love saying that. It came out real smooth, But the thing that I am very proud of is not that you became the first. Is the fact that my boss, 10 years before you became the general manager, had a vision of you becoming a Yankee general manager after Gene Michael. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I do remember those conversations, Ray. I remember at the time I was in Texas, and there was conversation of Mr. Steinbrenner having interest in me being a general manager. And listen, I didn't know Mr. Steinbrenner that well, but we're talking a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame. Also, he was a visionary. Baseball is, he was talking about the first guy that really owned the back page, and owning the back page is good for baseball because people weren't interested. He was a leader he was a visionary in signing Reggie Jackson. He was a leader in vision of signing Messersmith and signing Catfish Hunter. I remember that as a kid because growing up in New York, I still remember buying the Daily News and constant news. I mean, it was baseball news all winter long. Think about that. That was his vision. He was always a visionary. And the fact that he was even considering me for that, it was a vision. And I know, Ray, you had conversations to him about it. So I'm very honored that he even thought about that.
Omar, real quick, this is a funny one. 1978, after Reggie hits the 3 home runs.
Here we go again. This guy always brings it up, but go ahead.
Robbie, let it go, Robbie, let it go.
He becomes the king of baseball. And I was working during the offseason, I was working for Reggie, answering his fan mail, taking care of his apartment. Now, I remember bringing you and Dave Valley, 2 teenage kids. And when you got into that apartment, you guys were like a kid in a candy store. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, of course. Here we got 2 Queens guys, Dave Valley from Bayside, me from Corona. And I believe the apartment was on 76 and 5th Avenue, right next to the museum. It might be 76.
79th and 5th.
79th and 5th. And we go up there. And at that time, I think if I'm not mistaken, he was promoting either Jordache jeans or pony shoes.
Murjani jeans. And listen, you wore everything. What are you talking about?
Hey, man, when you're a kid from Queens.
I'm sure you remember what it is. You probably have them in your closet now.
Hey, when you're a kid from Queens, you take whatever they give you for free. What are you talking about?
Two
hey, listen, we all went from Lee's to designer jeans. Come on, what are you talking about?
There you go. 2 pictures. We lost Vida Blue. What were your thoughts about Vida Blue, Robbie? What's your thoughts about Vida Blue in his career?
Totally one of the great pictures in baseball, and I remember him being such a force every time he pitched against the Dodgers. It was just, great player, great on all levels, and a great person too.
Now, Omar was scouting when Vida was still pitching. What do you
Wow.
feel about that, Omar?
I don't know about that. If he was, it must have been at the back end because I remember him as a pitcher. I remember in those days when I might have been a cover in Sports Illustrated. And in those days in the early 70s, I wasn't, and look, he was just such a great athlete,
Yeah.
and he was so dominant. And I haven't seen the stats, but I'm guessing, now we're living when pitchers go 5 innings and they're out. And I'm pretty sure that Vida Blue probably has how many complete games. I mean, he just looked the part. He was just and I still remember, Ray, that if I'm not mistaken, George tried to the boss tried to they voided the deal. I think it was Vida Blue, Joe Rudy, and somebody else, and the commission voided the deal.
Wow.
I still remember that.
Yeah. Listen, in January 29, 2008, you made a trade with the Mets for Johan Santana. Talk about him, part of that Met organization back then.
Yeah, it was, and it's an unbelievable opportunity. I was, as a general manager, I like to call myself aggressive. I believe when you're in New York, when you, with the Mets and a New York team, you have a great fan base that pays a lot of money for tickets, and you got to try to go get the best guys. I was always of the belief, go get the best guys, even at least give it a shot, And I'm a big believer that, talent to surrender young prospects for elite talent. I have no problems with that. I have no problems at all. And he was elite. He was a Cy Young Award winner. And the fact of the bottom line is we went after him. I had full support from the ownership, the Wilpon family. We ended up giving 3 good players, and one of them was Carlos Gomez. But you know what? Those guys don't come around too often. That's probably a little bit, Ray, the boss. That was probably something like, those kind of guys. When they come around, you go get them, and especially in this town.
Right, and he picked the Mets' first no-hitter of all time, right?
Yeah, and he probably, like anything else, he got hurt and he didn't finish his career the way he could. But that can happen anytime. Anybody can get hurt. But you motivate your fan base. Your fan base in New York has got great fans from both Mets, Yankees, and they deserve. This is New York, man. They deserve the best. They deserve that you at least go for it. And I felt always as the general manager that I was going to do my best to go get the best players.
Well, let me ask you, as a scout and as a front office person, we see. Talking about getting the best. There's a guy on the Angels right now that next year is going to get maybe the biggest payday ever in baseball, Shohei Ohtani. Who's going to get him? How much is he going to get?
Well, I've been around long enough. I can't comment on a player on another team, so I can't answer that.
Nice try, Robbie. He's not going to the Dodgers.
Robbie, you're trying to get my man in trouble here, Robbie?
Hey, I don't know. The ticket prices, I have to double to get him. I don't know,
There you go. But talking about elite players, talk about your son, Justin.
Yes.
Well, that's easy to do because that's more fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, I'm so excited that people come up to me and they tell me, "Hey, you're Justin Minaya's son. You're Justin Minaya's father." It used to be they used to tell Justin, "Hey, you're Omar Minaya's father." It's the opposite way around now, and I love it. And I know Ray feels the same way because Ray has some kids. They're cops, but they're giving service. And you guys have kids, and nothing feels better when somebody tells you that you're the father of a kid instead of the other way around. And I feel very, Justin, it's a great story. He was never a 5-star athlete. He was never all these things, but he was loyal to his kids growing up in grammar school, stay local, could have gone to play for many great programs, ended up playing in the SEC for good coach and Frank Martin and starting always. One thing about him was, he worked hard. He, continues to work hard. But he's kind of the anti-aid. Kids now, they always are trying to either transferring in high school. Some kids transfer. They're always looking for somebody else. It's never working out. Justin always stayed with his local high school, stay with his college, except his senior year when he had the ability to go back home to play for Frank Cooley in Providence. And here he is. He's in the NBA. And I think it's just, I think what we're all more proud about him is, we're very proud about his future, but we're so much proud about how he's handled it, and he stayed true to himself and to his friends.
Well, before we bring him on, we have a little highlight reel. I'll bring your son Justin on in 2 seconds. Let's check it out.
Into the front court. Here he comes. 35 seconds to go. Minaya. Point game. Al Durham leaves it for Minaya. Justin executed down the stretch. R.J. Cole, a great second half. A great feed. Durham to Minaya.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. First time I see it. First time I see him, I'm waiting for weeks to see that.
Man, I appreciate it. How you guys doing?
Congratulations, Justin.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been really good.
Justin, what was the big thing for you in getting to Portland and getting to play that game?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a dream come true. I mean, you kind of dream about things like that when you're a little kid, and always envision yourself having that dream and being able to play on that stage. And for me, it was just, like I said, it was a dream come true. Just going out there, it was almost surreal. I was a little nervous at first, I'd say, but I mean, once the ball got going and I checked in the game, I mean, after that, it was just kind of like regular basketball again.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. It was so fun, and I mean, hopefully there's a lot more to come in the future, but it was great. It was great.
Now, do you understand the magnitude of what your father was going through that day before you took that first shot?
No, I don't actually. I know he was nervous. And
Dad, what did you tell him? Dad, what did you tell him?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I was proud. It was weird. I thought to myself, look, Ray, you know, we all think if this happened, how are we going to react? And I told myself way before it was going to happen, man, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. You know what I'm saying? And first of all, it happened like kind of quick because like we go from one Monday working out to Tuesday night. He's playing, covering Jay Morant in the first quarter. Get in there and go ball. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, it was just reflective, Ray. It was more like, you know, I knew like that all the work that not only I put in, but his mom put in. And you guys know when you got kids, what do you do when you got a rim in the driveway? You rebound for them in the rain and this and that. But actually his first, you know, when he made the shot, it's like something sink in, Ray, that you just feel like, yeah, okay, good. That's how it was, you know. But you know me, I'm like always thinking, okay, and they laugh at me because I say, hey man, you got paid for that already. You better start training for next time because then they pay you for that. You better go train for tomorrow because that's done already. Go forward. Wow. You know, that's how I think.
Justin, is it difficult? Has it been difficult to be the son of Omar Minaya?
Nah, not at all. It's been actually kind of easy. I mean, my circle is really, really small. It's really close knit, and I never felt any pressure to really do anything, whether it was playing baseball, basketball, football, whatever I really wanted to do. I mean, it was easy. It was simple. Like I was saying, I actually was a baseball player growing up. That was like my main sport. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to make the MLB. Jose Reyes is my favorite player. I wanted to be just like Jose.
Oh yeah.
And after that, when I got to high school, I started growing a little bit, and then I kind of started falling in love with the game. And I kind of talked to my dad about like maybe making that switch. And I'd say I was a little nervous at first, but once I saw his reaction, where he's like, "Yeah, man, like go for it. Like just go play basketball. Don't worry about baseball. Like if that's your dream, follow it." And then after that day, I kind of knew. I mean, whatever decisions I was gonna make, there was no pressure. My dad was with me.
That's beautiful.
Now, Justin, your father alluded to that you're really loyal. Your loyalty to your teams, to your schools. Why is that important for you to move up the ranks and be loyal to that? And how much work did you put in to get to the point you're at now? Yeah,
right. I mean, I guess you could say I'm a loyal person. I kind of just really value relationships. I've had a lot of really good teammates, a lot of good friends. And like when I value a relationship, I'm like, I want to be with this person, you know? So I want to be with my friends. I want to enjoy that. So I just try to stay in the moment, not really worry about going to a different place, and just try and make the best of whatever situation I'm in. That's kind of been my whole career.
Next to your mom and your father, I would have to say that your brother Ted had to have been the most proud. How do you feel about that?
Teddy, he's my biggest supporter. My brother, he's at every game. He's always wearing my jerseys to the game. Says Minaya on the back. I mean, he's a huge supporter. I mean, he's been such a pivotal piece of this journey for me too, as well.
That's a beautiful thing, and the aspect of it doesn't always work that way. And to see genuine love that the two of you. I mean, hey, you've had the greatest parents in the world. So what can I say?
Exactly.
Well, I think it's fair to say, because it was Mother's Day yesterday, and I heard you guys started. I think all of us can reflect a day after Mother's Day about our parents. You know,
Amen.
I saw the pictures, and Ray, I know your mother, and Ray's mother was a teacher. My mother was a teacher. There's a lot of similarities there, and there's that brotherhood. And I heard you guys talked about how your music, you got to your mother. So I think it's a good reflecting a day after that. You know, we've had great parents to get to where we are today.
And you know what? And let me say, Robbie, Omar Minaya, I'm proud to say that Omar went to his first school to visit little kids with me, and it was my mother's school.
Wow.
And so that's a very famous picture in our family.
And not only that, it reflected a lot, because I said my mom was a teacher, and you guys know teachers. You know, Ray's got two boys that are, and they're police officers, they're service. Yeah. And I think, all of us has been around people that believe in service. And that's what's beautiful about even being here with you guys today.
Well, I want to ask Justin a question here. Justin, there's some rumors going around backstage here that those 3-pointers that I saw you swishing on that promo reel, that you learned those from Ray Negron. Is there any truth to that?
No, I don't really recall that. I don't know.
There you go. You could have lied.
Robbie, finally I agree with you on this show. Finally, a half hour.
I told everybody that you got that from me.
All right, Robbie, send me that video. You're gonna have to send me that video. You shooting me. I gotta see that one.
Robbie, I was there in those games. I mean, it was a sight to see.
Yeah,
it was like he might have hit one, but it might have been, out of 20, there might have been 18 air balls.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
you're lying. You're lying.
And all of us that know that Ray Negron face when something good happens, I have it imprinted in my face till at night I wake up. And I'm having like nightmares. Like, come on, you got to be kidding me!
It's not true.
I've seen those 3-point shots 1,000. I've seen that video 1,000 times. It must be.
Yeah, but you got to remember, before that shot, he took about 35 of them.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Omar, he took over 150 shots, not 35.
Okay. I mean, there was some when he would jump. Okay. And he would jump, and the elbow won't move forward. Figure that out.
That's right. Justin, real quick, because we got to move on. But as an NBA player now, what's your routine? I know we're going to the finals in the NBA. What's your routine now until the start of next year?
Yeah. Right now, I'm actually in California. I'm in Los Angeles as well. And, I'm working out, getting up every morning, getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Go work out on the court from about 8 to 9 o'clock, and then do a little lifting after that. Go to the weight room, and then later on, sometimes I'll go back and shoot some more shots. And yeah, man, it's like the dream. I tell everybody every day, I'm like, this is what I dreamed of as a kid. I mean, I wake up and play basketball for a living. Like it's like really a dream come true. It's like, this is the life I always wanted.
And what would you tell young people out there that want to make their dreams come true?
Yeah. I mean, just I would just let them know that no matter what it is, no matter what you're going through, just try to take everything day by day. If I look too far down the line, or if I look in the past too much, I'll get really, really stressed out. So throughout my career, I kind of learned to just stay day by day, stay with the process, and everything else is going to work out perfectly.
Wow. Omar, doesn't get better than that, huh?
That's fantastic.
No, it does not. It does. And, that's what the beautiful thing about, us raising kids, that you got to let them grow. They got to let them learn, and they got to figure it out. But, we're very proud of, same way I'm proud of Justin, very proud of my other son, Teddy, and listen, we're family people. We believe in family, and together, a lot of good things happen when you stay together.
Love it.
Well, I just, number one, I want to say 2 things. Number one, Justin, you could not have had a better dad. Okay, mm-hmm. And I know that firsthand, and I'm proud of Omar and what he's done as a father, and the fact that he's been a great friend. And since George Steinbrenner died, Justin, mm-hmm. I've been miserable. People mm-hmm. know that. I've been miserable because mm-hmm. Billy was gone, all all my guys were gone.
Mhm.
And to have Omar there now, like I'm with Randy Levine's suite, and then I look over and Omar's there every game, and I can breathe. I can breathe. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just grateful that Omar is there and that the Yankees did the right thing by bringing in a good baseball man to help us get another ring, because I want another ring.
Yeah.
Amen. That's what we work for. Let's work together to get a ring, and let's beat those damn Dodgers, man. Let's
that's what I'm talking about.
Well, you can
I love when you get the last word, Omar.
Our dream, Omar, is to get the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series again. It's been way too long, brother.
That would be great. That would be great. And,
Justin, Omar, God bless you guys. Thank you very much. And thank you for showing us
Special show.
what a father-son relationship is all about. God bless.
Thank you for having me, guys. Great talking to you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unbelievable, Robbie.
That was a great segment. No question about it. And this next guest,
segments, you have a special guest for us tonight, right?
I do. And before we bring him on, I have a video, but I'm going to set this video up. This next guest is, for me, one of my heroes. This is a guy, every note that I play on the Hammond organ or keyboards, there's a little bit of Mr. Mark Stein in those notes. And he was my hero, and he inspired me. He energized me and influenced me in so many ways. And then later, it's when your heroes become your friends. It's very kind of surreal. But this little video that we have is going to set him up. So let's play this video for Mark Stein. So this is Meet Mark Stein, if you don't know who he is.
Our next guests are a legendary rock and roll band who are still as heavy as ever, performing the classic You Keep Me Hanging On. Please welcome Vanilla Fudge!
Set me free, why don't you, babe? Get out my life, why don't you, babe? You really don't want me. You just keep me hanging on. You really don't need me. You just keep me hanging on. You said when we broke up, you just wanted to be friends. But how can we still be friends? Till you only break my heart again. There ain't nothing I can do about it.
Vanilla Fudge!
Bring him on, Mr. Mark Stein, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see y'all. How y'all doing?
Hi, Mark. How you doing, brother?
How you doing today?
I'm doing really good. I'm checking out all this baseball talk, man, and I'm an avid Yankee fan, and we're winning 3-0 against the Blue Jays as we speak. So
I like that. An in-show update.
Mark, I'm first. I want to say this right now because I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
Of all the guests we have ever had, I don't know if Robbie's going to agree with me. Of all the guests we have ever had, you have had the best hair. I love your hair.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna do a commercial like like Clyde Frazier do it just for men. We're gonna do it. I'm trying to get him to do it with a classic rock band. You know what I'm saying? The same kind of vibe. Instead of sports, would be like classic rock.
I like that.
What do you think? Can I sell it or what?
I think so.
I think so.
Well, my hair was like that when I was a Yankee bat boy back in the 70s, so it works.
There you go.
It definitely worked. But Mark, Robbie talked about your relationship with each other and how he looks up to you. What's your thoughts about Robbie?
Robbie's the coolest cat, man. He's one of my best friends, you know. What can I say about him? He's musical director for Frankie Valli, you know, one of my heroes, you know, forever for the last 40, 45 years. He's an incredibly talented guy. You know, he's just been in the middle of all that classic rock universe with Frankie and the Four Seasons and, you know, all the stuff he does conducting. And what can I say? He's a regular dude. He's got a lot of love out there and promotes a lot of love. And he's one of the coolest cats I know.
Do you know why you're wrong, Mark?
No,
you know
tell me why I'm wrong. Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. Because Robbie, you said he's like Robbie Robinson is so loyal, one of the most loyal people I have ever known, and most people aren't like that, and that's what I love about Robbie. And everything else you said about Robbie, I'm right on with you, no question.
Oh, cool.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, enough about me. Let's talk about Mark Stein, because I'm telling you something. This guy rocks like nobody else rocks. And you know how sometimes some acts kind of deteriorate a little bit as they get older. This guy has gotten better, and they're still out there touring. It's amazing what he's doing, man.
Yeah, we just played the Opera House in Pennsylvania and the theater in Jersey. I just got back last week. And yeah, actually, we were just putting the pieces together. We're going out on the road in June. We're playing Summerfest, which is a big festival in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And we're playing, you know, the Wildy Theater there in Edwardsville, Illinois, Rob. You know that theater. Hopefully, I'm going to see you there.
I'm hoping to get there.
And we're
absolutely.
doing Ron Onesti's place, you know, the Arcada Theater, which has been all renovated. It's supposed to be incredible right now. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on the, you know, it's kind of hard getting on the road at our age, but once you're out there, man, getting on stage, there's, you know, it just stirs the blood all over again. So, very cool.
I just saw that you guys, you and your bandmates, Vanilla Fudge, are inductees to the 2023 Musicians Hall of Fame. Is it in Nashville?
Yeah, it's the Nashville Rock Gods Hall of Fame, which is
very cool.
Which is, you know, kind of cool. I love Nashville.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a show, and they're going to give us a cool award, and there's a whole bunch of cool people on the show. So, yeah, it's nice. I'm really humbled, and I'm really proud of that for sure.
That song that you guys had, it was 1967. Your version of "Keep Me Hanging On" was a monstrous hit. I mean, so much so you guys had Led Zeppelin was your opening act, right?
Yeah. Well, when the Yardbirds broke up, Jimmy Page came to America with the three other cats, John Paul Jones and you know, Robert Plant and Bonzo, John Bonham. And yeah, we were label mates, and at the time we were pretty hot. We had like multiple albums and singles on the charts, and they were the opening act for us back in early or late '68 it was, and then we did a couple of tours together, and we watched them become the biggest rock band in the world. But in the early days, it was a lot of fun hanging out, seeing it all evolve. Definitely was.
And back in those days, you also toured with Hendrix. Tell the audience something what it was like to tour with Jimi Hendrix.
Well, it was. I think we did 13 to 15 shows with Jimmy, and another great dude. It was like a circus on the road. I mean, I was only 20 years old, 21. So wow. I'm going back, dudes. I'm going back like, you know what, like 55 years. I just can't believe it's been that long. But
you were just a kid, man, on top of the world, brother.
I'm still a kid, man. But you know, I was a real kid then. It was a glorious time in rock, you know, being at the middle of the pop music renaissance world back then.
But I honestly believe that when you're 20 in the 60s, it's like 40 today.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah.
Mark,
do you think rock and roll keeps you young? So
yeah,
that's right.
Do you think back in 1967, you think you'd be still doing this with the same band and the same music and all that?
Well, going back, I mean, again, I was 20 years old. When you were 30 years old back then, you were an old man,
Paul McCartney's Paul McCartney had the famous quote when he was in his 20s. They asked him, how long you think you guys can be doing this? He says, can you imagine us doing these songs when we're 30 years old?
Right? It's incredible. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm what? When
64,
I'm 64,
yeah.
which was completely outside the realm of any universe ever. But I mean, when the band broke up in 1970, everybody splintered. We've had a lot of reunions, but now we've been back together since 2005, pretty steady. But during all those years, we all played with a lot of great acts. Carmine Appice. He played with Jeff Beck and Rod Stewart, and I played with Alice Cooper and Dave Mason, and did record it with Michael Jackson, and we just played and got involved with a lot of other people before we finally got back together again, which I'm pretty proud of too. So.
And one of the cool things about your song, Keep Me Hanging On, it was a prominent part of that Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was a really cool scene. In fact, I got to check my royalties today.
Nice.
It's due today on the 15th, every 3 months.
Wow.
I got to check that out. That helped us out a lot, man, because it introduced the Fudge to a lot of young people and streaming and everything. I'm telling you, our royalties really jumped up nicely.
Awesome. And he play the whole song or most of it?
Tarantino did his own edit, and I was surprised. It was the scene with with Brad Pitt, with the dog there at the end.
It's kind of a dark scene, that's for sure. But
very dark scene. Yeah. I tell you what, it was the Sharon Tate. That whole trip that went down, man. But it was great to be a part of that. I mean, that song has been in a lot of movies. It's been in War Dogs. It's been on some big TV shows. Mad Men was one of my favorite. With John Hamm and all those people. It's an incredible.
That's like Sherry in all those movies.
Yeah, exactly. But I never thought it would, evolve and be around all these years and decades later. But
well, let me ask you this, because I know some of these answers, but I know that the audience would love to hear some of this. You Keep Me Hanging On was originally a hit by Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Right.
And your version is so amazingly different. Can you tell us how you came up with that idea? Because it's genius.
Well, thanks. Well, back in those days, our trademark was reimagining other people's songs. That's what our magic was, like Beatles songs, like Ticket to Ride and Eleanor Rigby. We created a whole drama, a whole scene with that. We slowed it down and made it really eerie, the way the lyrics,
People Get Ready was another one.
People Get Ready was, something we were touring in the South when Martin Luther King was assassinated. And we were headlining the sports arena in New Orleans. And I dedicated People Get Ready to Martin Luther King, and they were throwing Molotov cocktails out of it. It was incredible. My manager wanted to kill me, but, we were young. We were activists. Curtis Mayfield wrote the song, and we took it and we did a whole gospel arrangement to it. And we still do it today. And I just love it. The vocals are really cool, and people still love to hear it. And they love to hear all the stories from all the decades and all the years we were touring.
Well, speaking of stories, you have a great book that I've read cover to cover.
You have?
Maybe we have a picture of that book here.
Do we have that?
I don't know if we do.
Maybe not, but it's
talk
called
about your book, Mark.
Well, it's called You Keep Me Hanging On, the raging story of rock music's golden age. And it covers, 5, maybe more than 5 decades of rock history. It starts out when I was a little kid, how everything evolved and what Vanilla Fudge's place was in classic rock history in relation to everything that was going on. It talks about the Vietnam War, and, it's just got great interviews from people like all the Doors and Robbie Krieger and, Billy Joel and Sid Bernstein, who brought the Beatles to America, was kind enough to lend his story to the book. And, it's critically acclaimed, and it's been notarized by Paul Schaefer and Glenn Hughes and Robert Plant. And people really like it. And It's on Amazon. You could get it on Amazon. You can get it on mark-stein.com. And
well, there you go.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I got to ask you, how many people said to you, you can't do the Diana Ross song. You can't do it.
Well, they told us they told us we were crazy doing everything we did back then. That's what was so different about the Fudge. Vanilla Fudge was there. We dared to be different. You know, everybody said, well, you're not writing your own songs. You're never going to make it. But, you know, we rewrote everybody else's song. We reimagined it. We just put our whole trip to everything. And we called it symphonic rock. We were four guys. We imagined ourselves as a symphony. And when it started getting incredible airplay on underground radio, critics called it psychedelic symphonic rock, you know.
You know what? One of the all-time great rock and roll photographers is backstage, Jill Martin, who was married to Billy Martin. And I'm curious, I've seen some of the other bands. I'm curious if she ever took any of your pictures. You know, I'm going to ask her after the show.
I don't know, but I know the late, great Linda McCartney, Linda Eastman.
Oh, we just talking about her.
Well, she took a great shot of us, our first major shot, man, walking these four dogs in Central Park.
Wow.
I don't know if you have it in your archive there, but it was like such a cool shot, man. And yeah, that was when we got back from Europe and we were all dressed up like the Who. We saw the Who with Jimi Hendrix, and I was just blown away with their look. So we ran down to Carnaby Street. We started getting all these beautiful red and green velvet coats and scarves and, you know, high-heeled patch boots and that whole, you know, 18th century look. We came back to America, and not only was our music doing really well, but we brought fashion back to America.
Yeah.
We came off that play. It was like, wow, man, these guys look like princes. And we did. And it was so much fun, you know.
Well, you guys were not only a great band, but here's one of the things that set you guys apart from a lot of the other bands who haven't hit records. You guys were, each one of you was a great musician in his own right and a very influential musician. And I know from being in the inside of the music business, practically every musician I know of that generation and thereabouts always were influenced by you guys, and we learned from you guys, and we were inspired by you guys.
That's incredible. Well, it's
that's
I'm
the way it
really
was
gratified
different.
to,
And you were just, like you said, you were 20 years old. I mean, so just, you know.
I don't know how four guys our age came up with such a creative experience. It's, you know, in retrospect.
Thank God they did. Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible because the Beatles loved the band and just, I mean, everybody, you know. I remember hanging out with Sonny Bono, and he was, you know, we were on our first West Coast tour. I'm sitting there with Sonny Bono. He was talking about, you know, how Atlantic Records is really excited about you guys, and you know they think you're going to be really famous and you're going to go a long way. I mean, I'm sitting there with him, and he loved the arrangement we did to Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I started the arrangement with the soundtrack from March of the Siamese Children from The King and I did that on Oregon. Remember, Robbie? I started that.
Oh,
song.
Absolutely, man.
When it came out, we just had this insane creative ability. Again, to reimagine songs and just do it our own way, which was a style that blew everybody's mind, and it just really caught on. And that approach to music is what really influenced a lot of bands. You know, Deep Purple and even Led Zeppelin. And I mean, I even read a story a few years ago from Jimmy Panknow from Chicago.
Right.
So we don't sound like, of course, like Vanilla Fudge, but it's just that they gave us the guts to go and do something creative and something, you know, off the beaten path.
You were so musical. That was one of the things that set you apart. It wasn't just a pop formula. It was a real music. It was very musical, like Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm proud of what we did, and I'm really excited that way more than a half a century later, we're still rocking. People are still coming to see us and getting a real kick out of it. And I'm getting a big kick out of the fact that everybody else is still getting a kick out of it. You know? So,
Robbie, would you consider what Mark did with You Keep Me Hanging On to what Frankie and the Four Seasons did with that Sinatra song that you play all the time?
You know what? Yeah. Under My Skin. There is an interesting parallel there because when Frank, you know, obviously the Frank Sinatra version of Under My Skin is totally different than Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And the story, I'll tell it quick, is that Bob Gaudio and Frankie Valli went to hear Frank Sinatra, and they heard him do I've Got You Under My Skin by great song by Cole Porter.
Yeah.
And Bob Gaudio said, I've got an idea. But Frankie, whenever they did another person's song, they made it their own. They made it totally different, just like you guys did with Vanilla Fudge.
Yeah, but that was a fantastic arrangement, and it's just a great record. And
very
Mark, do you see yourself at 89, 90 still on stage?
Why not, man? You know, maybe we'll be back here doing a podcast.
We'll still be hoping that the Dodgers.
We're just getting started, right?
I hear you, brother.
Robbie will still be wearing a Dodger uniform, hoping for that World Series ring. But Mark, one at a time. How can people get your book one more time?
Yeah, it's called You Keep Me Hanging On, Raising Story of Rock Music's Golden Age. You can get it at Amazon, and you could get it at my website, mark-stein.com. So if you get it on my website, it'll be numbered and signed and sent right out to you.
Awesome.
Your choice.
And it is a great book. Much. I endorse it wholeheartedly. I read it cover to cover, and it's fantastic.
Thank you so much, Mark. God bless. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, it's my pleasure and honor. Thank you, guys.
Mark, but don't leave, because I want to introduce you to my grandson. Put that up, Carmine. Look at his smile. No, that's nice, but there we go.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. He's a movie star already. He looks like Robbie, though. Wait a minute.
Another couple months.
That's amazing, man. Beautiful.
He's so cute. Oh, God, I'm in love, bro.
Yeah. That's great.
Being a grandparent is a whole nother dimension of
my
joy.
God.
That's right.
Incredible.
Right. Well, Mark,
you know what? I'm gonna. My grandson is 17, and
wow,
I got a nice new car, and I think, you know what? He's just learning to drive now, and I said we're gonna take it for a ride around the community here, but you got to listen to me when I tell you.
Yeah, listen to me when I tell you.
Not to gun this thing, because anyway. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we have to go. Thank you so very much, Mark.
You got it.
We'll see you down the road. We'll see you in concert. Mark Stein.
All right.
Mark Stein, everybody.
There we go. Robbie, thank you so much. We're back in the saddle again.
Hey, and it's nice to be back in the groove. And I think this Monday Night Groove, because we've been doing all this, trying to figure out the right night, and we're back to where we started. And I think it's going to be cool. Yeah, by the way, tonight.
Yeah. Look at him. He's
back on the saddle, baby.
Back
there we
on
go.
the saddle
Robbie,
again.
thank you
tonight
so
on my. By the way, I gotta say, tonight on my Jam and Java is going to be my 3-year anniversary. Can you believe it was 3 years ago that I started that Jam and Java thing? So tonight we're gonna celebrate.
Wow, we're gonna celebrate, and don't forget Robbie's Records, right?
Robbie Records,
brother.
Robbie Records.
There we go.
I'm gonna cut an album soon.
There we go.
Let's hear you sing. I haven't heard Ray sing yet today.
No, well, not tonight. Not tonight. We're gonna see you next week. Reach out, Robbie, Ray, Steve. God bless. Thank you.
Walked through every fight, measured every mile. See how far I've gone.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Is I carry on, and here I am, like a soldier in the night. Here I am, ready for the fight.
Give credit.
Must be the master plan.
There you go.
Welcome to Reach Out